Quinn with the Two Mortgage Guys, and I'm here with Danielle Burrascanso with Next Title. And Danielle and I have worked together for probably about the last 11 years. And I have been in the industry for about 13 years. I started doing mortgage loans in 2002 and continued on in the industry. I started as a processor, worked myself up to a junior underwriter, and now I'm a licensed mortgage loan officer. And in the middle of my career, I took a little 6-year hiatus to try a new industry. And I was a 911 dispatcher. And now being back in the industry after being a 911 dispatcher, I feel like I can handle these types of stressful situations better than I did before because of all the training I have. And now I deal with home loan emergencies and I handle them with ease because it's not a 911 call that could be urgent.
That's so awesome. I'm so happy to be here, Erin. Thank you so much for having me. So a little bit of my history and my background. So prior to when Erin and I met over 11 years ago, I was with a different company. It was LPS at the time, which is Lender Processing Services. And so Erin and I became close friends very quickly, and we just had those types of personalities that meshed from the gate. And so over the years, we've kept in contact, and I am super excited to be here and be working with her again now that she's back in the industry. So a little bit of my background and history. So I've been in the industry probably since about 2003. I've dabbled in many different areas of the industry. So I started off actually with Fidelity, and I was an administrative assistant there. And from there, I kind of just gradually worked my way up into an IT type of role. From there, I kind of just kept moving on from there. I went to a different division in the Fidelity family as well, and I was working for Property Insight. So in the title world, a lot of individuals know as Title Point. Mm-hmm. And so I went into to there. I was an account manager, and so I was responsible for going to all the different title companies and installing their software and training them on how to use it. Mm-hmm. From there, I was recruited to do sales. Now, mind you, it took a couple of months of sales, I guess, coaxing, if you will, because I was like, nope, I've never sold anything in my life. I am not a salesperson. I had no interest in doing sales. So after a few months of recruitment, I decided, all right, I'm going to give it a shot. I gave it a shot in 2008, and right after I made my switch, the market crashed.
Oh, no.
And so in the midst of all of that, my manager at the time was like, if you can hang tight, like when the times are bad, when they're good, they're going to be good. Mm-hmm. And at the time I had just gotten married. I was like, what have I done? I went from having, a steady paycheck to now having commission and having to work for every dollar that I made. Mm-hmm. And so it taught me a lot in that industry. And so when LPS about 8 years ago, they decided they were being bought out by a different company. Mm-hmm. And so I was kind of forced to leave there and find another job. And so that brought me to and led me to Next Title. And so I have been there for almost 8 years in October. And it's been a very challenging, humbling, rewarding experience. So when I first came over there, in 2013, I was actually just a sales representative going out and selling title and escrow to mortgage companies and lenders. And so from there, 3 years ago, I was given the opportunity to become the branch manager and run the national sales piece as well. Given the opportunity, I wasn't quite sure as to what I was getting myself into, but I decided, you know what, this is a window of opportunity that I've got to see where this leads to. And so here I am 3 years later, and it's been a very rewarding, growing personal growth and business growth experience. And so for that, I wouldn't change a thing about it. So
that's amazing. And it blows me away because I haven't seen you in a while. And when I first met you, you were my title rep. You were the one I would call if I needed a property profile explaining all of the property information, or if I needed a plat map from the title report, I would call you.
Yeah.
And if I had challenges with things that came up on title, I would call you. And after not seeing you in a while and now seeing how you've gone from here to here, it's amazing. I'm so proud of you, Danny.
And I'm so proud of you too, Erin. I think that, this has been something, you've been a processor for a number of years. And so I think getting your NMLS license has been a huge win for you as well. And I'm so excited to help you and see you grow in the industry. So
thank you so much. So I'm working with quite a few different agents, and we want to work on some marketing. So if we wanted to schedule an appointment with you to do a marketing coaching, how would we set that up? Or how would my real estate agents reach out to you?
So I could leave you with some of my business cards,
Okay.
and you can give them my contact information. This is kind of a unique strategy in marketing. I know this is a lot of, it comes up in a lot of conversation, and that's something that people are really looking into. And so I think in a consultation or a coaching consultation, if you will, with that, it comes down to just asking the right questions to the realtor. What specifically are they looking for? What target area are they looking to market? Everybody's looking for a little bit different criteria, and it's just defining what that agent is looking for, or defining what market or what specifically is going to suit their needs.
Okay, that makes sense. We definitely are going to have to set some of those up in the future.
For sure, I'd be happy to help.
Absolutely.
So Erin, let me ask you a question. So what was your deciding factor into coming on board at the Two Mortgage Guys? What was it about this company that drew you in, that wanted you, to land your home here?
So this is now my third time working for this company. Formerly, Two Mortgage Guys used to be CIB funding, and I've worked here for, like I said, for 3 years. And the reason I love this company is because we have weekly sales meetings. Every Wednesday, we get together for about an hour, sometimes an hour and a half, and we talk about our goals. And last month, for example, we read this book called The 10X, and we all strategized on how to 10X our careers, our lives, our families, and it turned out to be a huge success. And that has turned into weekly trainings, and we all work together as such a strong team that sometimes we'll have a scenario that comes up that's not the typical buyer scenario. So I have the opportunity here where I can consult with several of our other loan officers, our owner, our branch manager, and everybody together strategizes to get our clients the best possible options. For example, I had a buyer recently that wasn't quite sure what direction she wanted to go with her mortgage, and I was able to give her 3 different options. And it was great for the buyer because that way she was able to choose what fit her needs the most.
That's so awesome. I know the little that I've been in this office so far, you can tell that your company is very passionate about its employees, the tools that it equips you with to be able to succeed and, be a promising loan officer, or, in the community and within your buyers and your sellers.
Absolutely.
And your borrowers.
And what I love about Johnny, our owner, is he's well known in this area, and he is constantly reaching out to agents, networking, getting our name out there, doing golfing events. And we even have an open house coming up in early July, and we're going to have agents and different members of the community come get to see our podcast room, which is fantastic because I don't know a single office in this entire valley who actually has a podcast room. So to be able to have this is amazing.
Absolutely.
Absolutely
This would be the
amazing.
first office I've been in to actually have a podcast room. So this is pretty cool. Pretty darn cool. So no, I can speak a little bit on my branch and my staff a little bit. So as far as, culture. Mm-hmm. So you guys seem like you're promoting the same type of culture that I'm implementing into my office as well. And I think that it's super important. I think especially nowadays that culture creates like the type of work environment that you work in. And so it bleeds pretty much into how you show up daily, how you are passionate about your work, how you speak to clients, how you present yourself. And so that's one thing that I've been super passionate about, I'd say, since I've taken over the branch about 3 years ago. And it's been a little bit of a painful process, but I think ultimately now where we are, I think that we're in a good place. But I think defining that not everybody's going to mesh with that culture, and that's kind of how you weed out the people that you want on your team. And I'm a strong believer in some of the other title and escrow companies. In the past, I know that there's been a lot of division as far as like, okay, your title and your escrow, and like we can't help you, or we don't mesh well, or we don't talk because we're on different teams. And excuse me. And I try to implement that we are, one family, that we are one team, and that we work together as a team. So for me, it doesn't matter if you are the receptionist or if you are, an escrow officer. We all work together. We are all, one family, and we're all going for the same goal, and we're all trying to accomplish the same thing. So, my mission, I think, within not only in my personal life, but in my work and business, is to empower people to be their best self. And so I think that that's super important when encouraging your family, your friends, your team, your staff, whatever that looks like. I think just shining light onto them to help them discover who they're meant to be, I think is great at the end of the day.
Absolutely. I love your story. It's so inspiring. And the culture that you guys have over at Next Title is really similar to here. And you can see it. Like when the guys, for example, this morning, I came into the office. I got here at about 8:30. I walk in. There's a training going on. Everybody's got a smile on their face. You could feel the energy when you walk in. Everybody's pumped, wants to be here, loves being part of the team. And we're just growing and learning together. It's absolutely fantastic.
I love it. And I felt that that encouragement, or that unity that you guys share when I came into the office the very first time. It was a different vibe. You can walk into a lot of offices and it's not everybody is friendly or receptive to greeting you and making you feel welcome. And that was the first thing that I felt when I came in here. Everybody was super friendly. Everybody was welcoming. It was just like, okay, this is a place, number one, of that somebody would want to work. And number two, this is a place that you would want to engage your clients or, potential borrowers in. I mean, it's just a great environment. Who wouldn't want to be a part of it?
Absolutely. Danielle, for our listeners, can you explain what title insurance is so they can better understand?
So title insurance is a protection for lenders and for home buyers against financial loss.
Okay.
So that protects you, like I said, from the financial loss of that. I think that it's super important as you're going through your transaction to partner up with a knowledgeable lender or a reputable title company so that they can help you walk through that process and you can gain knowledge and clarity on what that looks like. I know there's a lot of gray area when it comes to title and escrow, and it's almost like one of those things that it's like you need it, but you don't know exactly what it does.
Yes. And that's what our buyers fall into a lot. And I would be open for future podcasts with your title officer and your escrow officer so we can do like a title and escrow one-on-one to explain to our listeners what title insurance means, what the title officer's roles are, and the escrow officer.
I would love that. I would love to come back and bring, my escrow officer, my title officer. I think they would be completely open to getting into a more in-depth conversation onto what that looks like, and so that your borrowers could have a better understanding of what that looks like in a nutshell.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. This was so much fun, Danielle.
I love it. Thank you so much for having me. It's been an awesome experience, and I look forward to our next one.
Absolutely. Me too. Thanks for listening, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.